seats. For Chris Lee, I am a night conservative crime fighter. Chris Lee is conducting other interviews as we speak right now. Today's guest, the Future
Donovan Ruddick. Get it right, Zach.
See, I didn't even mention your secondary name, but you're primarily known as the Future. As we get to the questions here, how did you decide you want to be a professional wrestler, and how did you get into the business?
Well, actually, my mom's been watching wrestling forever. My granddad always took her down to the Chase, and she's always been into wrestling and just things like that. So she was watching wrestling when I was in the womb, and it was kind of like something that I've always been into. I got a Garfield stuffed animal, believe it or not, with a championship belt from 1984. So I've been into wrestling forever. And it's just kind of, I did 2 years in the Navy, and came back home. When I came back home, it was like I had some free time, and I wasn't sure what I was going to go to school, and made a couple of calls, sent out a couple of emails, and 3 years later, 2.5 years later, I am.
Who are your original trainers and current trainers in the business?
Originally, I was trained by Searcher and Damian Blade of mmwa-sicw now, and currently I'm training with pro wrestling gym.
Cool. How long have you been a wrestler so far?
I'd say like 3 years, 2.5, 3 years.
Usually, you've been wrestling St. Louis or Southern Illinois, but you've ventured lately into Fort North, Indiana for Platinum Pro Wrestling. You believe a lot of the LWA is going to be regulars in the Chicagoland area?
Oh yeah, without a doubt, without a doubt. I mean, LWA right now is, I'm not going to put over the show I mainly work for, but at the same time, most people haven't even attended an LWA show, and they just go off he say and she say and what they read. Yes, we have super fans. Yes, the fans care a lot about our product, and I'm sure most of these other fans in the St. Louis area wish they had fans as dedicated to their show as we have dedicated to our show. I mean, there's a reason that these people are coming back and coming back, and they're diehard fans. I mean, you wouldn't be diehard fans of crap. You know, I mean, we're wrestling every weekend. We're not just wrestling on LWA days. This isn't an LWA event where you're interviewing me at. I'm wrestling.
Well, that's not LWA.
Exactly, because I'm wrestling every weekend. Pierre, he's wrestling every weekend. Evan and Gary, they're wrestling every weekend. Rob, he's wrestling every weekend. You know, we're wrestling. Espinoza, we're wrestling every weekend. We're not just wrestling that once or twice a month. We're trying to make it. We're trying to go somewhere with this. So there's a reason, and it shows in their product.
Absolutely. How did you become the Future? That is, a lot of people say they're the future of the wrestling business, but what makes you stand out from them?
Well, actually, Searcher and Damian Blade actually came up with that catchphrase. You know, it was just that I was catching on kind of fast and saying the right things, doing the right things in the gym, outside of the gym, meeting the right people, and they just said, you know, kid, you got a bright future in this. So it just kind of stuck. I mean, I don't think I'm the future of wrestling or the next great thing. It was just kind of like a nickname that kind of just stuck.
Now you have been calling yourself, you still call yourself the Future no matter what.
Exactly.
You've recently started calling yourself Donovan Ruddick from Jamaica. What was the origin behind that name, and that's just how you diverged from who you were calling yourself before, Brian Ladd, and became transitioned to Donovan Ruddick?
Well, it's the nature of the business, you know. You go to work, you do what you're told to do.
Well, how did it come up? Did you come up with that on your own, or the LWI?
Do what you're told to do.
There's no story behind it. Wow.
Story behind it. I wish I had some interesting story about my dog, my cat, and us drinking beer on a Sunday night. No story.
All right, now we're going to go back to Danville here. Now, Lahey was raised over that Fairview Heights show. Some folks came down from Chicago to watch, and the most controversial match of that show seemed to have been NC-17, which was your tag team name with Velton, taking on Giant Vinyl and Davey Vega.
Well, if you read all the reviews for that show, and that match in particular, I was never bashed in that match. Everyone else was bashed in that match, which still isn't going to take away from any of those guys. Everybody in that match was a good worker. I mean, everybody has an off night, things happen, matches go astray, and it just happened to be one of the nights that the match went astray, you know, and lost its course, you know, so it happens. I'm sure every match in Chicago that fan goes to is the greatest 5-star match because none of us are WWE, because if we were, we'd be on TV.
Do you think you'll make it to WWE?
That's the dream of everybody on the whole.
What about TNA? Or Ring of Honor?
I'm really shooting for, I guess, yeah, TNA. TNA will be nice because I have a daughter. I'll be able to be home with her. WWE would be nice because WWE.
Travel the world,
right.
See a lot of places.
Ring of Honor, if it happens, it happens. I don't think I really fit their style of wrestling. You know, I don't really keep up with too much of Ring of Honor. Counters and
they're more geared to cruiserweights than
right, that's just not
the giants.
And that's not me.
You could be the biggest giant in the Ring of Honor and stand up there to Nigel McGuinness. And
if it happens, it happens.
What do you think of the LWA superfans? Do you think they're a help or a hindrance to LWA?
Sometimes it works for us, sometimes it works against us. It's for us when people are bashing and they don't know what's going on. It's against us at the same time that when there's a fan that hasn't seen the product and it's their first time out there and maybe the wrestler messed up and did something astray and the super fans quickly pointed out, that common fan probably didn't notice the mess up or the screw up that they know now. So, you know, it's a positive and a negative, but that's like that. So, the good with the bad.
Did you haven't played any other professional sports before you gave wrestling a go?
Actually, before I wrestled, I played varsity basketball for 4 years, varsity soccer for 1 year, varsity cross country for 3 years. I got out of baseball too. So I pretty much played everything. Cool.
So far in your career, and you've only been going 3 years, what do you think, which match did you feel was your best match, career match so far?
You know what, I don't think I've had it yet. Because, you know, I'm learning every day, every week, every match I get better, every match I get stronger, you know. I've had good matches, but I haven't had that match where I just said, yeah, that was it, you know.
Do you have a favorite match that you've had? Or a memorable one? Nowhere that you can't think of anything. You can't think of 1 or 2 or 3.
I got a lot of friends in this, so I mean, I haven't really had that match where I'm just gonna put it above every other match I've had. You know, so I've had good ones. But
do you have a favorite opponent that you like to?
Honestly, believe it or not, the favorite person for me to wrestle was Rough Cut Rick Rude. Believe it or not. Me and him had some fun times, and when I first got into it, he was one of the older guys that was in it, and he pretty much said, hey, you know, let's do this, and we went a lot of places together, like a lot of places in the beginning, like in WA, Missouri, HCW, Ringside Championship Wrestling. A lot of these states I went to in the beginning, I went with Ruby. A lot of people sleep on him, but he's one of the big guys in the Midwest area. I mean, I put that in his name.
Wrestled primarily in Illinois, like he used to wrestle from local. What's the worst match you've ever had that you wish it never happened, or you'd like to forget it never happened?
I plead the fifth.
You plead the fifth.
Got a lot of blood.
You don't have any stories on it?
I mean, I got some horrible stories, but at the same time, you know, everybody you wrestle, everybody who's a nice guy isn't a nice wrestler. Let's put it that way. So I'll plead the fifth on that one.
Plead the fifth. I'm not going to take a chance.
No, I'm not going to take a chance.
Well, Vaughn is here to you. You are set to wrestle, or scheduled to wrestle Baird St. Pierre tonight at the Osborne, where the show is being held at. Any words for
Bear. Bear, I don't care how big you are, another victim. People want to wrestle Bear, people want to wrestle Chris Hazard, they want to wrestle Mississippi Madman, they want to wrestle all these big guys. But in the end, the biggest and the baddest in the Midwest is going to be me. So, check one off the list.
Check one off the list. Well, we will see. The STL WC match of the week. We'll see how you do against the Bear if you're victorious or something else happens. Speaking of big men, you mentioned Mississippi Madman. I've been wanting to match with him for quite some time, and
the Madman is dodging the future. I was supposed to wrestle the Madman in AAPW. The Madman gets sick. I was supposed to wrestle the Madman in New Midwest. He has scheduling conflicts. It'll happen, and I'll destroy it as usual. There'll be another Vega. Oh, I almost said Vega. I'll destroy him.
Okay, and hear what you said there, that you slipped. What would happen if you got rid of that? You destroyed him.
I destroyed him. I mean, who cares? He's from Mississippi, and he's mad. He has an afro.
Well, he's got a different look now. He just changed his hair. He's got hair sticking out in the cornrows like you have. And a little bit different.
Did I ask for your comments?
Okay, well. So what does the future hold exactly?
Well,
Receive someone in the next few years.
Hopefully, keep hitting the pavement, grounding behind it, just getting all these feds, do what I need to do. Hopefully I meet the right person or suck the right penis. To get where I need to go, but it's all about and who sees you. If nobody sees you. You can have the 5-star match, but if only 3 people are there, nobody has a computer to smart about it, who's going to know about you? So, I mean, basically I'm just trying to hit the road, wrestle as many places as I can, get as many matches under my belt. Hopefully, that right person sees me and hey.
Do you like playing the villain or the hero more?
It doesn't really matter. I mean, I can come in there and piss off your grandma, or I can come in there and your daughter wants to take me home. So,
now you've tried, I remember a couple times this year you tried to turn the villain ring and the crowd didn't go along, they just cheered cheered like crazy. It was like Back to the Future just because you're the biggest man in the room. And you're just a bulldozer over all the competition. Like,
yeah. Can't argue with fans.
Does it make it harder to be a bad guy, or?
I just gotta go with the flow. Go with punches.
Well, I've got a list of names here. Now, Chris Lee's never done word association on the nosebleed seats, but this is what I like to do, word association. So I'm going to mention names like places and names, and tell me what comes to mind. WWE.
The best.
TNA.
Trying to be the best.
What is wrong with TNA, do you think?
Basically, I just think TNA is just like too much. They give you too much. If they're going to do something with Kurt Angle, we got to see Kurt Angle 16 times in this segment. We're going to do something with Sharkboy, we're going to see him 18 times. We're going to do something with Nash, we're going to see him 18 times. They just give you too much. They just can't let you. They give you no reason, honestly, to come back.
I think they're pushing forward WWE.
And if you see a guy who just gets jobbed out for a year and a half in the WWE and then comes to the TNA, he's in the main event right off the bat, it's kind of like, wow. Because, if you think about it, when Monty Brown went to WWE, he went in the main event right away. Just a regular old guy.
Then he didn't stay too long.
And
because of family issues. Ring of Honor?
His name is Moser.
You think they're the number 2 Fed in the country now?
Yeah, since they're wrestling in the United States.
ECW. Fad?
Yeah.
NWA.
Tradition.
You UFC, Ultimate Fighting.
Looks like fun.
Dan Delton is an MMA fighter. You think he could hang with the UFC if he went there?
Yeah. I think he's like 12 and 0 in mixed martial arts.
So he's now 12 and 0.
Yeah, 12
It's like bragging, I'm an undefeated MMA fighter who's only had 3 matches. Midwest Americans.
Great place to start.
Do you miss it?
Yeah, I miss it. And it's probably right before MPW folded, I think they were going nose to nose with GCW and San Luis. So who knows if we had a couple months. Who knows?
The organization voted local wrestling company in St. Louis, LWA.
Best place in St. Louis? What was that?
FTW. Full throttle. That's the sore subject. That's the sore subject with you. I can tell. I've never figured out what full throttle, what they're trying to do.
No, just a great group of guys, just keeping it. I don't know, no hard words, no harsh feelings, nothing, you know. They went their way, I went my way. Hopefully when they are, our paths cross again.
I'm waiting to see the guys from Full Throttle branch out.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of guys with Full Throttle that could be here tonight. I think Curtis Payne could go somewhere, Xavier Frost could go somewhere. I like Ivan. There's guys that if they really want to go somewhere, Gideon Roman.
Oh, yes. He's wrestled there before.
Yeah.
UWA.
Guys, a lot of hard guys.
Well, there's some on the roster here tonight. South Broadway. The most. They draw the biggest crowds, but.
Been around 30 years,
Really that long.
Long time, and they've been drawing. If it ain't broke, they'll fix it, right?
Heartland.
Great group, guys.
AAPW.
Old school wrestling.
I'm glad to finally make a show there. So first, that was the day you were supposed to wrestle that day before you had
And not a bad show.
Sudden
Just old school wrestling.
New Midwest. Now you came to New Midwest to wrestle Chris Hazard, and we're still waiting for him to come back.
New Midwest, actually I had a great time with New Midwest. Whenever the dates match up, I'll be back.
We've got a lot of unfinished business with Chris Hazard.
Yeah.
We had that one match, and you did the plancha to the outside, and nothing got set up there.
I'll be back.
Rampage.
I've only been there one time, Nothing to say yet, but
Frank Green's been in business, or running in St. Louis for 20 years. I think he's not gotten as much respect or gotten as much laurels as he should.
His job is to put butts in the seats. One time I was there was butts in the seats, so.
I'll skip these two. WLW.
Hopefully I get to WLW. Venturing probably in the middle of the year, I think I'm going to start venturing down there.
Yeah, but a lot of guys will go to WLW, start making appearances on WWE. So, what do you think of the St. Louis wrestling scene as a whole?
It's dead.
It's dead.
It's too many. We're all working against each other. I just think that there's the guys that are really trying to make it, and then there's the weekend warriors, the guys that just want to be the biggest and baddest guy on the show that I wrote and I did and I promoted, and do nothing until you can be the biggest and baddest guy in another film, or another film, or another thing. And it's just, everybody's just working against each other, If we burning each other, burning venues for other feds, and bad-mouthing this, and other guys can't work here, it's actually like it's just a bunch of it seems like a bunch of chicks, a bunch of clawing at each other, big ass cat fight. If everybody worked together or just had a common ground, it would be a lot better.
I forgot to mention this one. MECW, Metro East Championship Wrestling, the new kid on the block.
I haven't worked there yet. I'm hoping to get, I'm hoping to, venture out. Short-term goals, if you notice, I've wrestled for almost half of the feds in the post-linear side. So I'm trying to work for every single one of those feds.
At least once.
At least once.
Yeah, MECW so far that I've seen it's, I don't know if they're trying to be what Fist tried to be, but they seem to be using quite a variety of talent all over. Chicago wrestling scene. What do you think of that? Or do you know much about it?
No, I don't know much about it. I mean, I keep hearing that's where I need to go, so hopefully within this year we can venture up that way. I mean, we got Oklahoma this year, I got Texas this year, more Indiana, I got Memphis, I got Arkansas. So I got
lots of big places.
Yeah, I got some places this year, so I mean, hopefully Chicago gets strong this year.
There's Michigan City, Indiana's kind of the Chicagoland area, sort of.
Who knows?
A little off the big track, but you're thinking about Memphis.
I'm looking forward to it again. Different part.
Indianapolis.
And
Indianapolis is like the top one of the top markets.
I mean, it was fun up there. I mean, I had a great time. So
I mean, it's not likely to just.
Kansas City.
Maybe venturing down the Whiplash Pro Wrestling this year, so I'll let you know.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get to some wrestling things.
Alright, some wrestling.
We've already covered Bear, Madman. Give me. Well, all right, go ahead. The Mississippi Madman.
Pussy.
I don't know about that, but Gideon Morbid.
Buddy.
You started wrestling. You were his tag partner.
I mean, we actually trained together. So.
Yeah, he's known as Ken G back then.
How? I mean, he's done a lot of things for me behind the scenes. So.
The Searcher.
He trained me for a lot more.
Flying Brian James.
Oh man, overlooked.
What do you think that is?
I don't know. I think Brian, nice guy. I feel like I should have never met Brian James. I should have saw him on TV. I mean, talented guy, good build, good work rate. I don't know why. I should never met him.
I don't know if I should mention this guy's name. Gordon Pumpernickel. He was your manager for a time. Or at least
I got big dreams.
Yeah, big dreams, Chris Hazard.
I f***ed up the New Midwest. I'm telling you, I'm coming back to New Midwest.
Chris Hazard hadn't been in the Midwest lately, so you may have to chase him up to NGW or Hammerlock. Brandon Espinosa.
Travel a lot together. So.
Yeah, he's been really this year. He's went all over the place. Dan Vell, Hard Knocks.
Same thing as Brian James. I don't think I should ever remember that. I think some of the same level as Matt Seidel and Larry. He has it. The charisma. Well,
I think he's been in business, I think, 13 years. Why do you think he's still just wrestling primarily?
Dan has a good job. He has a good career. I think he just likes doing what he does outside of wrestling.
So you think he can maintain or
he's already worked together before.
Oh.
In the early days.
Early days, okay. Tommy Knight.
Great guy. Body, good body, nice guy.
Dingo, the NWA Kansas, Missouri, next honor superstar.
Next guy to blow up.
Next guy to blow up, and be the biggest name.
Yeah, he's leaving. Give it a year. He's leaving.
Mischief.
Oh, great. My daughter loves her. Has the best submission DVD. Has a picture on the wall. My daughter loves Mischief. And Daisy Hughes. I think she loves him more than she loves me.
What about Daisy?
Great. It's hilarious. Nothing bad to say about it. I mean,
Tell that trainer right on.
I mean, those guys are great. Like they're the best at what they do right now. Hands down.
Nick Tyson, he's retired or stepped away from the ring lately.
Yeah, I think Nick has it all. Nick has it all. I think it's just all up to Nick, what Nick wants to do. I mean, because when Shelly came down, him and Shelly, I told him he really didn't know who was from TNA, whether it was from Nick Tyson or was Adam Shelly. I mean, they were back and forth, neck and neck. So it wasn't like Shelly came out and beat the shit out of some jabroni. I mean, it was right there.
Pierre Everman.
He's looking to break out too.
He's been all over.
Yeah, all over. That's what I'm traveling with. We're all over.
Literally, both ends of I-55.
Yep, it's us.
Evangelistico.
Same as Pierre and Brandon, my road buddies.
Why do you think there is currently no LWA tag team title?
Honestly, I just feel like the LWA just doesn't want to just rush into something because everybody else is doing it. When they do something, they want it to be the best that it can be. So there's no point in having all these random titles. We don't have a lot of established tag teams. So I think they're just holding it off, you know. It's kind of like...
You think they've got enough established tag teams now? Because it kind of looks like that.
Yeah, well, hopefully within a year maybe we get some, but at the same time, we just don't want to have, you know, a whole bunch of belts just to have belts. You know,
really, I only have one belt.
Exactly. And it means something because there's just that one. You know, it means something. There's not just a bunch of random titles thrown around. So when we do have tag belts, I'm sure we'll have the best tag team champs around. Or the next tag division.
Is there anybody you'd like to get in the ring with that you've never gotten a chance to so far?
Nick Tyson, Dingo, one-on-one. Always wanted to wrestle Nicky Strickland.
Nicky Strickland, yeah, he's retired, is he?
The days of Rap Away, I always wanted to wrestle him. And probably I would say Searcher and Damian Blake, because I never actually wrestled either one of them.
Really?
Never actually wrestled neither one of them.
Another name, Guy Smith.
Oh man, that's great. I was all on this team. I was like, when he got to OVW, I hope that, you know, the door's still open for him there and go back.
He did train with Hardy Grace this year, or last year. So. Bookings increase. Is there any words you'd like to, we didn't cover, that you'd like to bring, message you'd like to share?
Thanks for having me. Get ready to beat up there real quick. Hopefully you enjoy it.
Yeah, words are cut off. What's your MySpace page?
Catch me at www.future_prevails@hotmail.com. That's all my
Future, thank you for doing the interview with me. And that'll do it for this edition of the Nosebleed Seats. We want you all to join us at the Heritage Wrestling Coalition Super Show, December the 4th in Rantoul, Illinois, Lincoln's Challenge Academy Gym. 2 rings, 7 companies, 1 title shot against WWE prospect, the Future Donovan Ruddick,